I see the robin.
I'm just searching for equality, looking for some reason, no finding no apologies. But I do want opportunity, hard work, it ain't new to me.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Rach Da Gem back for another week of Melanin Boulevard. Every week I'm busting out bomb guests doing amazing things out here, and this week we have two amazing guests on the line. We have Ashley and we have Renee on the line. How you guys doing today?
Hi. Hey, how you doing today?
Good. You guys are looking amazing. Your skin is blinking. So I am super excited to talk about what you guys are doing, what you ladies are doing. I saw an article on Blavity and I was just like, let me reach out and see. And I'm so thankful that you replied and that you were open to coming on my show. So welcome to the Boulevard and thank you so much for taking out time out of your day.
We are happy to be here, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you don't know, and if you haven't seen the article, these two ladies are responsible and involved in land ownership. And there's about 19 families that invested together in owning a large piece of land, almost 100 acres. And I'm excited to say that they're actually on the land right now. Like they're there. That car is on the land. So I can't wait to get to know all about you. So first, I want to talk about what prompted this decision to get these families together and start investing in land.
You want to take it this time? You want me to?
Well, you can take it. Well, for me, obviously, the unrest that we've been dealing with the murder of Ahmaud Arbery and then the murder of George Floyd. I don't usually watch those things. Like, that's not in my vortex usually. I don't like to see that kind of video even make it across my social media. Like, I tell people all the time, don't send me that stuff. But I happened to watch it, and it did something inside of me because I have a young 2-year-old Black son. I have a Black husband, and to see these young people and these Black men, and even Breonna Taylor, being murdered in her home while she slept, all of these things had hit us back to back. On top of the fact that there's a whole pandemic out there in the world.
Right.
Talk about stress, right? Like the level of stress that I was under, and I didn't understand why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, why I was feeling so emotionally drained and just feeling like disempowered. Like I didn't want to do anything. Like it felt like I could not do anything. So being who I am, I went to therapy, and I had shout out to my Black therapist.
Yes, we love them.
We went. And I went to therapy and I worked through with her that we're dealing with some systemic racism. It's a real thing, and it does hinder us from being able to excel at our highest levels. It hinders us from being able to just breathe and live and be our best selves. So I was dealing with racial trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And I utilized therapy to help me work through it and to feel like I got my power back. And so that's what Birth Freedom Georgia is, just a feeling of, okay, Renee sent me a viral article about Toomsboro, Georgia for sale. Mm-hmm. They billed it as the city for sale for $1.7 million. And we went to the open house to see it. And when we got there and we were like, oh, it's a bunch of Black people. It was like 40 Black investors and realtors out there. I was like, somebody's going to buy this $1.7 million. It might not be us, but somebody's going to buy it. And so as a real estate agent, I was like, well, if we're going to drive all the way to Toomsboro, Georgia, we're going to go see what else they might have for sale, what might be available. And so we identified additional land that was for sale at the time. So we really had these social factors going on that made me feel like I needed to do something. Mm-hmm. And then we had my Black therapist that was like, you can do something. And then my friend found a viral post And I was like, well, that's the something that we can do.
Exactly. Yeah, it's in alignment. It was all in alignment.
It was. Absolutely. So when we found this land that we're sitting on, we sat on it and we started talking and daydreaming and visualizing. And by the time we drove the 2.5-hour drive back to Atlanta, we had decided that we were going to make this purchase of this 96.71 acres that we're on. We knew that that's what we wanted, to be able to profit and to leverage whatever might come down the pipeline with whomever actually buys the city of Toomsboro, because it's a great city. The people were amazing. Everyone was kind. Even though it's only about 495 people who live in the city of Toomsboro, everyone we have met so far has been so sweet. Black and white people together. It's a diverse city. There's a Black mayor there. Shout out to Mayor Joyce Denson. There's a Black chief of police. So it just felt like the kind of place where we could go and build something. And so we decided we would get our friends together, and the rest is history.
You got some good friends.
Like we could buy it ourselves, but we wanted to give our friends and family an opportunity for us to have something and own something and be together. And so on the way back, I was like, Ashley, we need to get, like, you get 10 friends, I'll get 10 friends, and see what we can do. And that's what we did.
I love it. Like, that is so empowering to see Black people come together like that and be able to accomplish something that at times feels unattainable. When we think of land ownership, you know, a lot of Black people maybe feel like that's a goal that is going to be hard to reach, a goal that they may not even be able to reach, because even home ownership was at one point something that was like a huge deal. But this is something that we should be doing. That should be normal to us. So I definitely want to talk about that. So what was the process in getting all of these families on the same page? And shout out to y'all for sharing the wealth. Like, shout out to y'all, because you could have just split it 2 ways, and you didn't say that. You said, let's bring more people in. And so with that, you will continue to be blessed. So I want to talk about how you got everyone together and how you explain this to your friends.
Well, we just knew early on, like, our like-minded friends. We have friends that we have gatherings with, and we all sit around and talk about these things on a daily basis. Like, this is our conversation. So it wasn't hard to get our friends together. We just knew going in the like-minded people that we wanted. And I think a lot of people know our characters and know how we are as people, and know that we're not going to just bring anything to them. Like, when we came to them, we had a whole presentation. We had a whole presentation of the land and the research that we've done, and like, we really laid out a lot of information and the possibilities that we had, and everybody was so just excited about everything that we were doing. It was like, oh, okay. And then we had a lot of people just join right then and there, and then we had some people that had to think about it and mull it over, and then they called us back and was like, okay, we're in. So it wasn't as hard as you would think, getting 19 people together. You just have to know the people that you want to be with and build with.
And I would even say what made it happen for us is the season. Like, recognizing that in this moment where there's unrest, protests, people in the streets, and people dealing with COVID, a whole pandemic, like, people were like, you know, I do see the value in getting together in this moment and building something for ourselves, because we haven't had these circumstances to really push us out of our comfort zone like we have in these last few months.
That's so true. And it's amazing that this opportunity came about during a pandemic, and you're able to execute this during a pandemic, because it's so many people out there that feel that, you know, that it's kind of hopeless at this point, and there is nothing that they can do. But you took control and you made it happen. So I'm just super impressed, and I love the story. I really do. So as an individual, can we talk about what you guys do as an individual?
Yes. You can go first.
But I'm a real estate agent. I do this by trade. I help people buy, sell, and invest in homes in the Stonecrest, Atlanta, Conyers, east of Atlanta. And right now, so many people have been reaching out. I'm helping people to identify areas of land for sale for them to be able to build communities for themselves, people who want to create homesteads, who want to begin doing farming. So I'm working with a lot of those types of clients at the moment, just to help people who want to get generational wealth through real estate, because that is how you become a millionaire. That is how you pass down a legacy, is by generating real life assets. And the land, homes, those are assets. So that's what I help people to do in my everyday life. And my background before I became a realtor, I was in marketing, and I love marketing. So that's what I do. I build websites for people. I do social media marketing campaigns, and I continue to do that even as a realtor because I just love it so much.
Nice.
And I just recently graduated school for neuromuscular therapy. I'm not yet practicing. I had a bit of a situation with my daughter. She was born with a special needs injury. So I take care of her in my spare time, as well as, well, not in my spare time, all the time. I have a special needs group that I do in my spare time where I get a lot of special needs parents together, and I just allow them times to vent and share resources. And I pretty much started a village between us where we are able to meet each other and talk and just share our different issues that we have. I also have a children's boutique, and I do a catering business on the side.
Wow.
So we're pretty busy.
Yes, we're entrepreneurs at heart. And that's what, that entrepreneurial spirit is what allows us to take on these types of endeavors.
Yes.
I'm right there with you. I'm so there. So getting to this point, what obstacles have you had to overcome getting to the point that you're at now?
The biggest obstacle was probably the very first getting the families together and getting someone to sign up and say, yes, I'll be the creditor person. I'll be the person who takes the, credit burden if we default, and getting people to be the personal guarantors. That was really the only challenge. And that wasn't a challenge because eventually they were like, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah, that probably. I think the only challenge we have now is the clearing of the land. We just handled that today. Like, that part is done. Thank you.
Yeah. So those are the two biggest challenges: just getting the people together who had their business in order, who were willing to take a chance and put their name, because somebody does have to take that chance and put their name on the dotted line and says, I'm going to be the personal guarantor. I'm going to be the one that, if this thing goes south, that will be the one who takes on that debt or that default. And people have a hard time trusting people. But when you know who people are, and you know that that we knew there was no way we could lose. And by the time we had the conversations and talked it out, we were able to. I'll do it. Yeah.
No problems.
Yeah, I think the fact that you came with like concrete information, and you didn't just say, "Hey, girl, let's buy some land." You came with content. You came with information. You came with, I'm sure, statistics of the area and all of that to, let people know that you've done the research, and that, this is how we can be successful. So people are going to be, more comfortable with investing with you. So let's talk about the stigma of working together. That is huge right now. We see a lot of people promoting, shop Black, and I've seen great things happen in business with people shopping Black. I love to see people being sold out. They're selling out of products. They're booked up months in advance. Like, I love to see it. But we also get on the other side, a lot of people not feeling like that is not actual, but not likely, and that we can't work together as one. So I want to touch on that as well.
I would say you have to change your thinking. Like, that's just period. Like, you have to change your thinking. Once you change your thinking, your life will change. Because I was one of those people where oh, I don't want to go into business with my friends. I don't want to go into business with family because they do you worse than people you don't know. And that is not true. And I literally had to change my thinking in order for me to do this. Because Ashley and I, it may look like we've been friends for a long time, but we have not. And so I really just want to get people to understand that you can definitely go into business with your friends. You can work together and you can do it seamless. Like we have done it. So we are here to tell you that it can happen. But first you have to get out of the notion that Black people can't do it. You have to change your thinking. Like it's essential. It's necessary. Your thinking and your thought process must change in order to achieve things like this. You just have to.
Mm-hmm. And one of the ways to do it, like I had already been working with, like I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. I'm a graduate of Bennett College for Women in Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay. Shout out to all of my Bennett Bells. I'm a proud HBCUer. And so I've always been like, I'm one of the people who are in organizations. I'm in groups all the time. So I am familiar with the fact that, yes, we can work together. I went to all girls high school, Philadelphia High School for Girls. Shout out to Girls High. And I went to Bennett College. So being like that stigma that Black women can't work together, they got attitudes, like all of these stigmas are things that are perpetuated by the media and society latches onto it, but it is not our truth. We think it might be true, but it's not. It's what we have seen perpetuated and put on us, and we've taken that on as our own burden. But that's not the fact, because when you look at organizations like the Divine Nine, when you look at organizations like our Black churches, when you look at organizations like the NAACP and civil rights organizations, they get things done all the time. Yes. We don't get enough media coverage. We don't get enough applause. We don't get enough stories. People told us what we did wasn't newsworthy when we first got started. Wow. So when you have that mentality in the media perpetuating these ideas that Black people can't get along, that Black people are gangsters, that Black people are unintelligent, that's what perpetuates the idea that we can't do it, which is why I wrote my article, because I wanted people to know, yes, we can, like Obama days, yes, we can. So we have the tools. We have brilliant Black people who are in all sorts of professions, who are at the top of their game. Connect with those people. Even if they're not in your immediate circle, in your immediate family, even if they're not in your neighborhood, there are organizations that you can connect with and begin to enlarge your territory and begin to enlarge your network so that you can get around those like-minded individuals where you can get together and plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize, because that's what it takes. We can all do it, and you have to understand that this is a democracy, baby. Everybody's not going to get their way. Some people will, some people won't, and if the people who don't get their way take their ball and go home, we'll never go forward. But if you sit at the table and continue to move towards the vision and press towards the mark, regardless of whether or not you got your way or not, we can get things accomplished. But it doesn't take as much work as people think. It just takes a commitment to do the work.
Right, definitely. I think building those relationships are so important. If I'm going to do business with someone, I need to have a relationship. Yeah. I don't like the fact that people say there's no friendship in business. And I think it's the complete opposite. Friendship is business, and business is a friendship. Because if you don't look at the person you're doing business with as a friend, that's where things come into play. It's like they'll do you any kind of way. So if you can't see me as a friend, I can't do business with you. And if that's your mentality. So I love it. And it's so true. The media has control over the narrative. That's why Black media is so important, especially now. And I love the fact that there's been so many more podcasts launched. There's been so many more platforms launched with the controlling the narrative. Like, let's control the narrative. Let's tell our story. I'm tired of hearing our story told by the third person in their history. And so that has to come to an end. And so at this point, during a pandemic, we've taken control. We've taken control of our money. We've taken control of our ecosystem. We've taken control of our media and our story because it's not theirs to tell. And so again, I so want to thank you for coming on, because people like me, I'm trying to get the story out there, and I want the truth. And I want to smash those stigmas, because all of it's false. It, you know, if they can tell us how hard home ownership is, we'll never own homes. And that's what happened for a long time. If you know, Kanye West owns a lot of land, right? You know, we've kind of seen celebrities buying up land and we're like, what's going on? But that's where, like you said, generational wealth comes in. And so because we see a Kanye West buying land, that's where the thought of it's not attainable comes in. And so seeing someone who looks like me, who's not famous, doing it gives me so much inspiration and motivation to look into that, because there's open land everywhere and everything's for sale.
Everything. I'm a realtor, baby. Everything is negotiable, okay? And get what you want. The inventory might not be there, but with somebody like me, I'll make it come available, okay?
So tell us about the land. What's on it? What do we have plans for? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, so there's lots of land. We can get out real fast, give you a quick little tour if you like.
Okay.
This is the first. You have gotten the land exclusive.
I'm excited. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's amazing. Wow.
Yes.
Whew.
Get back in the car.
I know it's hot out there.
It is hot. And we have nothing on this land as of yet. It's literally just the land and the animals, the wildlife, the boar, the deer, the coyotes, the bear down the road, because he doesn't live here, but he does come visit. There are lots of bees pollinating the land. It's just gorgeous in its raw, natural state. Yeah. So we actually just kind of want to enjoy it for a little while before we start doing all the things that we plan to do. But we do plan to put home sites. So the families that invested on the land will be able to put their own home site on the land. We'll be farming the land, creating an organic farm so that we can have our own self-sufficient food system. We also plan on putting a lake on the land so we can go fishing. And then, of course, we plan on having our own little mini teeny home village where people can rent rooms and enjoy the land and have conferences, weddings, family reunions, and those kinds of activities.
That is so exciting. So what are the perks of being on that land? It is in Toomsboro is how you pronounce it?
Yes.
So I know that you said that when you initially went to see the site with all the other investors, did you buy that specific land or it was outside of that area?
Yeah, so we're, as far as the post office is concerned, we're in Toomsboro, Georgia. Okay. But when it comes to the county, we're in unincorporated Toomsboro, so we're out of the city limits. Okay. So the land that we purchased, we did that strategically because whenever you are in unincorporated land, that's how you are able to do your cityhood. Our big vision is to get enough people to decide to buy more land in this area so that we can eventually have a municipality of our own. So we're not encouraging people to buy, any land on our land. We're encouraging people to buy some of the land nearby so we can amass enough land to eventually have a corporate, municipal corporation and be known as the City of Freedom, Georgia, and be able to access all the wealth that comes available with that. Wow. So we really want to encourage Black folks to really look at this area because it is in unincorporated Wilkinson County. That, like I said, Toomsboro has a Black mayor. We have a Black chief of police, and that's just Toomsboro. We're out of the city limits. So we're governed by Wilkinson County. Wilkinson County is a signature county. It's an entrepreneur. It's certified as a county where they want to bring entrepreneurs to their county. There's not very many zoning and ordinances that we have to deal with. So it allows us to do creative construction with container homes and all kinds of cool things. So that's the best part about being in an unincorporated county, because that's what you then can leverage to build the future.
Mm-hmm. So how does it feel like just being on this massive piece of land? I mean, it's a big piece of land, in my opinion. How does it feel knowing that that's yours? Like, you own this?
For me, it's a bit overwhelming because I kind of grew up in a time and place where, like, it's things like this isn't attainable for people like us, you know. And so, for me to be sitting on land that we own is kind of overwhelming. And just, it really hasn't even hit me yet because, like, it's just amazing. Like, I can't even express how awesome it is.
I just feel like the ancestors
are pleased. They are definitely pleased.
Yep. Get that land back.
Yeah. The ancestors are definitely pleased. That is how I feel about being the landowner of 96 acres of land that my grandmama, who prayed for me, and my daddy and my mama and everybody else who has hoped the biggest dreams for us, that this is the realization of their wildest dreams.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So if someone were wanting to invest in land near you, around your area, what would be the first steps that they would need to take, even if they live outside of your area?
If someone wants to invest,
mm-hmm.
And they were interested in owning their own land nearby, they should come to our seminar. We're having a group investing seminar. What we're going to do in the seminar is 3 hours. We're going to talk about the step-by-step process of what it took for us to get our friends and family together, what it took to actually purchase the land, as well as some of the strategicness of why and how we're doing it the way we did. Like I said, talked about Wilkinson County and being in unincorporated parts of county. So we're going to talk about all of those things in the seminar. We're going to talk about financing and options for how to fund this beyond just group economically doing it, but there are other ways to do it as well. We're going to also give people the opportunity to invest in some of the land options that are available as a group. There will be a replay, a session with questions and answers. We've been getting so many people asking us questions like, how can we do this? How do we get our friends together? How do we make a land purchase? And in order to really answer that with real estate, it's a very consultative approach. So what I have to do first is educate people about what the entire process looks like. And then once they are actually ready, they have their finances in order, then we can bust a move to make the purchase. And so we have to kind of filter and prioritize who those people are who are really ready to make their purchase. And then I'll be able to work as their realtor to help them make this happen the way that I help my family and friends purchase this land. So I'm willing to be a realtor for anyone in the state of Georgia. And then I have referrals for other people who need realtors in other states so that they can bust the same moves that we have made. The seminar has a small $75 investment, but it's well worth the price of admission because we want to put like-minded people together to make these moves here in Georgia. And of course, if there are people in other parts of the country, other parts of the world, as we build this network, because when I say we have been getting inundated with people from across the globe reaching out to us, we're going to put these people together so that we can really start to make moves to amass land and create municipal corporations that allow us to have the cities that we deserve.
I love it. I wanted to ask, what is the Big Black Campout?
Hey, that's all you will tell about the Big Black Campout. Big Black Campout. Okay, so we decided that we want to celebrate with everybody. So we decided to have the Big Black Campout. We want you to come out with your tents, your RVs, your campers, and just come chill with us. It's going to be a live performances, a couple of DJs, fun events for the kids. It's going to be really, really dope. It's going to be a whole vibe as the post says.
Wear your mask. Please
Yeah.
wear your mask. You got them, if you coughing, you got that Rona, stay home. If you got somebody that you know had that Rona, stay home. But if you healthy and you ready to turn up, come on through. They can visit thebigblackcampout.com, or if you want to get the entire schedule of events, if you want to be a vendor, if you'd like to be a sponsor, you can go to bigblackcampout.eventbrite.com.
So when and where?
Pictures at the door.
Oh.
So please just come out. But if you have a cough, a fever, this ain't for you. Join us next year. We'll be out.
This is going to be an annual tradition, okay?
Oh, wow.
This year, every year, we're going to do the Big Black Campout. Shout out to like Melanated Campout, Urban Camp Weekend, Girls Who Camp, Black Girls Who Camp. It's a whole camping community. We want to see everybody here. If you can make it, it's going to be so dope. We're so excited.
That's exciting because Black people don't camp, right?
We be camping.
There's a whole camping community of Black people. So please,
we be hiking. We camp. And if you've never done it, we just became campers ourselves. We're not professionals by any means. This land has opened us up to being out into nature. And it's so therapeutic. Just the drive from Atlanta here is nature therapy.
we have a dope freedom playlist.
Yes. Tell about the freedom playlist, okay? Hit Spotify.
Hit Spotify for our freedom playlist, and it is just a whole vibe to ride to, and it is an amazing ride. Like, we come every weekend, we camp out, we just have a good time on our land. So we want you to experience the same things we're experiencing. So come out to the Big Black Campout.
I love it. That sounds like fun. I wish I could come. I might try to come.
You can't come.
Yes, I love nature. I love it. So I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about the fall that Ashley had.
No,
Renee. So I want to talk about the fall Renee had, because that is something that you had to overcome, and you've come a long way to getting to this point. So tell us about that.
Well, in September of 2013, I was in the attic, and I was on my way trying to leave out of the attic, and my foot got caught in between a beam, and I ended up falling 15 feet out of the attic onto a flight of stairs. I had to be airlifted to Atlanta Medical Hospital. I was there for 2 weeks in the ICU. I had a 10-hour surgery on my spine. The surgeon told me that my walking chances would be slim, and I just couldn't let him dictate my future. I told him, I can't let you dictate my future. I have young kids. My children were 11 and 6 at the time, and I just couldn't imagine their lives being altered because of me. And so I had to do everything in my power to gain my independence back, because I'm somebody, I left home at 18 with a $5 bill in my pocket, and I've never looked back, and I've always just kept going. So for something to actually sit me down and tell me like, oh, this is going to be a permanent thing, it kind of messed with my mind, but it also gave me the motivation to keep going and not just stop there. So I was able to go into the Shepherd Center for Rehabilitation. Shout out to the Shepherd Center. That is a wonderful rehab center for spinal cord and brain injuries. And I was able to go there, and I did 18 months of therapy, Monday through Friday, in and out. I was inpatient for 4 months, but I had to literally learn how to do everything all over again. So I don't let things stop me. I don't let people tell me like, oh, you can't do this. Like, I literally got up out of my wheelchair and I walked. So it's not many things that I can't do if I put my mind to it.
It's apparent. It's definitely apparent. I mean, let's just talk about the power of the brain, like, and the power of your determination to obtain these goals and to get to where you're wanting to get, regardless of what anyone says. We can't let anyone tell us that we can't do it. And you did it. And you guys have overcome so much. Like, I just can't say enough. Like, I'm super impressed, and I'm so inspired. So how do you keep going? Like, how do you keep going with this, and how do you stay motivated? Because you do a lot, and I have a plate, and I keep piling things on that plate too, of things that I want to do. So like, how do you keep going and raise children at the same time?
My children keep me motivated. My daughter, I have an 18-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 13-year-old and a 14-month-old. I have 3 children. And my teenagers are so proud, and they're like, Mom, like, you're not a celebrity, you're just regular, and yet you're doing so many things. And I just want to show them that you can do whatever you put your mind to. So if I stop doing things, if I stop motivating them, they're going to stop. And I don't ever want them to stop or stop thinking that they can't do anything. And also my daughter, my 14-month-old, she was born with special needs. And I feel like it's important for me to build something for her. Like, I'm doing a lot of this for her to be able to come in and just have the room to do whatever she wants that's accessible for her. So that my children kind of keep me motivated to keep going, and just life. Like, I love to have fun. I love to travel. I love to do many things, and I can't do that in a wheelchair. I have to be up and just moving. And so I just couldn't let nobody tell me different, and I had to do it for myself.
Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. I love it. What about you?
I am a faith walker, so I just believe that everything I do is kingdom business. And like, I got kids, I got a husband, and that's my first ministry, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing everything unto God, and I'm doing it for a legacy and for my ancestors. My parents expect me to do great things. I expect my children to do great things, and I expect that great things will happen for me. And so I get up every day and I just do what I can do. Everything ain't gonna get done. So Lord, give me grace, the serenity prayer. I accept the things I cannot change and the wisdom to know the difference. So I just keep it moving.
And we change the things that we can. So don't think that you can't change stuff. You have to be action people, action oriented in this time that we're in right now.
That's it. Change the things that I can, and the grace to accept the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I just move every day. I give my best, and unto God, and keep it moving. Like, look, that's all I can do. And I hope that people would give me that same grace, knowing that we're all in this race together.
Yep, definitely. You know, one thing I want to point out is the fact that when it comes to like the protest, everyone feels that they need to be on the front line and out there and, you know, with the gear. And me, that's not me. I'm gonna be at home. But we can protest in our own way, and everybody has their own lane. And I feel like what you're doing is your own protest in your own way, because you are breaking it down. You are, you know, you're telling people your story. You're telling people what you're gonna do, not what you're allowed to do. And that is a protest in itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can only talk on Facebook for so long. You can only march up and down the road for so long. Don't stop though. But you can only do it for so long. You have to take action. And this was our action.
And it all worked together for the good, because if the folks weren't out on the streets protesting, people wouldn't take us and what we're doing seriously in this moment. If people weren't out here demanding reparations and demanding change and to defund the police, if people weren't making those demands in the streets at this moment, we would not have the ability to bring people together in this cry and people answer it. Because people are answering these calls. The op-ed piece that I wrote for Blavity was a call to action to tell people to organize themselves and get busy on a local level, creating hyper-local communities. Because at the end of the day, if you can't make your family and friends rich together by circulating your own money and bringing your own money together to bust a move, we're never going to get out of the situation that we're in. We have to begin to work together in small groups to make big change.
Yes, there are so many gears in a clock to make a clock work. And, you know, these small groups are all these gears working together for the same goal. So true. So I want to know how we can support you. How can people support you? How can people be involved?
Absolutely. Well, we have a GoFundMe fundraiser going on right now. And so what that is we're asking people to donate as little as $8, as much as the $88,000. We're going to be naming people. We're going to be doing some gifts for people who decide to make donations. There's not an investment opportunity at the moment for people to get in on our land, because we've been getting a ton of questions about that. But we are doing this group seminar where we want to put people together. So purchase a if you can't purchase a ticket to the seminar, that's the best way to support, especially if you want to invest, because you can't get in on our deal right now, but we have other land and deals around, and we want to put people together to be able to acquire that land so we can bust this move of municipal corporation. Like, that's what we want to do, and we need bodies and we need acres of land to do it, and we need you to support our GoFundMe page. So I'm sure you'll probably be able to drop the link of the GoFundMe, but if you just search Building a Black Safe Haven, you can find us on the GoFundMe, and you can make an $8 donation, you can make an $88 donation, and you'll be able to come to the Big Black Campout for free. If you want to make a $888 donation, we are literally going to build a bench and put and inscribe and immortalize your family name or the memory of a loved one in it. And if you do a bigger donation of $8,000 and $8,000, we're going to put a gazebo on the land, and we'll name it in your honor or in the honor of a loved one. Because we want to incorporate and include people in little ways, in whatever little ways that we can, since we closed the actual investment. And that's one of the ways to be involved and to have a little piece of freedom. And you can give there. That will be the best way to support. And you can visit the freedomgeorgiainitiative.com to just stay in the loop to see what we're doing, because more stuff is always on the horizon.
Well, I will definitely be watching and seeing, you know, what you have going on. I'm sure it's great things. I can't wait to see the progress and what you do with the land. And even if you keep it like that and you just camp out every now and then, it's beautiful regardless.
Thank you.
It's an accomplishment, and it's amazing. So let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at front page Nay.
And I'm at Ashley Scott KW. You can hit us up there if you want to invest in land, if you want to buy a house. I swear I help everybody at right
Best
there.
realtor in Atlanta.
And if you want to be in touch with the Freedom Georgia Initiative on Instagram, you can do at FreedomGA2020. You can also follow us at Big Black Campout on Instagram. And if you want to follow us on Facebook, it's the Freedom Georgia Initiative. And you can also follow us on the website, thefreedomgeorgia.com, thefreedomgeorgiainitiative.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're so grateful that you had us, and we just wish you have a great rest of your day. And thank you to all the audience members. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you for listening. Y'all comment, y'all share, y'all know what to do.
Yeah, you know what to do. So thank you so much for taking time out. Make sure you guys support and you follow and you donate whatever you can. Go to the Big Black Campout, do that, and definitely get the information in the seminar on how you can invest, because we can all do this together, and they're giving the information. So let's get the information. And don't forget to tell your friends and tell their friends to tune in every Thursday to Melanin Boulevard. And we're out. You guys have a good week.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.